Hello, this is old Mr. Kent of MrKent.com, and I'm going to try to do the same thing I tried to do in a previous video just before this one, and maybe I'll come out with a little more success. What I wanted to do was fly across over to a construction site and see what the progress is, especially with all the rain and everything. And yet in the video I made before that, the drone locked up and all kinds of things. And I'll put a link to the video, and you'll just have to watch it. So here I am. I'm heading out and going to go check that out. We've had so much rain, because normally I would have ridden my bike over there, but everything is muddy, and it just won't quit raining here in Arizona. And so anyway, I thought I'd tell a story while I was running this little route. And so here we go with a story. Years ago, my wife and I bought a house in Spokane in the city, and it was next to a house where there was a very elderly lady. She was sweet and good, and we just loved her, but she passed away. And then the family tried renting the house, and that didn't work, and so then they finally sold it. Well, I don't know how it worked, but they sold it to some drug dealers. We didn't know they were drug dealers at first. I went over, knocked on the door, tried to introduce myself. Nobody would answer the door. But we'd see them come and go, so we knew there was somebody there. Well, anyway, it wasn't long until we figured out that, they were drug dealers. Our kitchen our kitchen was elevated above the height of their 6-foot fence they had in their backyard, and we could see when the cars drove up, and they would do the pickup. So that went on for a while, and then these two guys knocked on my front door, and they introduced themselves, showed us their badges. They were federal agents, and they asked to come in. They'd been chasing this guy for a long time, and by the way, eventually they put him in the penitentiary, and I think he got a 15-year sentence. So they explained everything, and they gave us their phone numbers so we could call them if we ever needed to tell them anything important. And then they also mentioned that I should let them know that I'm watching them do their drug deals. And so I agreed. And so then, and this is the part, my pastor at our church had at one time been a 1% biker. And the way he explained it, by the way, you can see they're putting in blue pipes here. Those are water pipes. And below those pipes are the sewer pipes, which I had a video of them putting them in. So that's what they're doing now, is they're putting in water pipes, getting ready to build the houses. Also, you'll notice there's green all over the place. That is totally unheard of in Spokane. Construction sites don't have that happen, but we've had so much rain that is happening. Well, anyway, so when my pastor, I was telling him about it, and man, he really got serious. He said, "Do not go out," because I'd go out and I'd go down the back steps, go out in the alley, and visit with them and see, what do you need? Why are you here? And stuff like that. And they were always real polite. I mean, they'd answer my questions. A friend had to go pick something up, and so anyway, my pastor said, "Don't do that. Don't go out in the alley. Don't talk to them. Stay away, because they're 1%ers." Or he said, because if they're 1%ers, which I don't know if they were or not, but he said those guys, the guys that carry drugs and deal drugs, they carry guns, and they don't care. When he was a 1%er, he didn't care who he killed. He didn't care what he did, as long as it was what he got what he wanted. So he said that's why. So don't go out in the alley and talk to those guys. You're going to be harassed. Something bad is going to happen. And so I said, well, so far nothing's happening. And so I don't know what that white stuff is down there that backhoe is digging out for. I don't know if it's water or not, but anyway, the water on the other side of the screen, there on the left, it's all brown, so I don't know what that is. Well, anyway, so it didn't bother me that they were, they just didn't look like they were dangerous when I'd go out there. So I kept doing that, And then eventually, see, they had the water turned off. They were stealing water from our backyard. They had their electricity turned off. And, of course, they didn't have any garbage service, so all their garbage was ending up in their backyard. And there was other complaints from other neighbors. And so this guy from the city came by. He drove up in the alley, and I saw him out the window, and out the kitchen window, and he had his camera. He was holding it up as high as he could over the 6-foot fence. So I went out on the back deck, and I said, you want to just come back? He introduced himself, and I said, just come up on our porch and you get better pictures. So he did, and he was real thankful. And then he asked me to tell him everything I could think of about what's going on here, And boy, I had a whole list, and so I was going through the list and explaining as we came off on my back porch and we were walking out towards the alley. And as we turned to go in the alley, we stopped, and he pointed behind me and he says, "Is that your neighbor?" And I turned around and I looked, and I didn't see anybody. And so I was so busy explaining everything to him. I said, no, all I said was no. I didn't say anything other than that. And I went on explaining things. And so then he finally got all he needed and he left. And I don't remember how long it was. It was several hours after that I got to thinking, he saw somebody standing behind me. I turned around. I didn't see anybody. Well, anyway, I know God's been watching over me all my life, and so he saw somebody. I didn't see anybody. I wonder if the same thing was happening when I would go in the alley and I would talk to the drug dealers. They'd roll their window down in their car and visit with me real politely, and it just makes me wonder if the same person that the guy from the city saw was the same person or persons who were standing behind me when I would be visiting with these guys. Now, you can believe what you want, but I know God takes pretty good care of me, and I tend to believe that the guy that the city man saw, or guys, was the same thing was happening when I would go out to visit with the guys that were picking up drugs. I think I told you, they finally sentenced this guy to 15 years. They wanted to know when he came out of his house the next time, and so we watched. And so when he came out of his house, well, then we called him, and I guess they picked him up somewhere. Anyway, so that's the story. I believe in angels, and I don't know if you do or not, but it sure was unexplainable, other than the fact that the only answer is there was an angel there. Okay, so what we're headed back here, we're headed back home to my house, or where I live. It's my son's place. And we're going to go down over here, and then I'm going to get some panoramic shots. So we'll drop down and go on in the backyard and get started with that. All right, there I am walking across the lot there, and almost to stumble. I'm looking at my monitor, and that grass has a lot of holes and ruts and stuff in it. You can see that there'd been a car parked there. So anyway, I'm coming down here, and I'm going to get down to a good level, down close to the ground. And when you do I'm going to do a 180-degree panoramic shot. So you got to get down to where everything is lined up the way you want it before you get started, and that's what I'm doing here. I'll be taking like a droney of myself, and it'll be a panoramic shot. I know I already did one of these in a previous video, but I think you'll like this one better. So I'll get this all straightened out here. I'll get it lined up, and make sure it's just the way I want it. And then, yeah, there we go. That's centered just right. All right, so we're about ready to start the panoramic video, and that is what I got. Now, I don't know who that other guy is over there. I'm sure he's not an angel. I know of that for sure. But how'd that other guy get in the picture? And how come I'm pointing at him and he's so surprised to see me? What is going on here? Well, let's take a look at how the screen recorder did it. First of all, after I turned off the recorder on the drone and set it up for panoramic shots, I stepped out of the picture. All right, now then if you look on the right there, I just started the panoramic shots, and there I am pointing. Hold it. Look at that. I'm running. That's hard to do for a 79-year-old guy. And I'm running across there, and then I'm getting all lined up. Now I'm waving, and there's the shot. So that's how I did my trick panoramic shot. And like I said, I believe in angels, but I don't believe these guys, any of these two guys, are angels. So I want to thank you for watching my videos, and God bless.